Before modern dating a device, psychology books. Before people turned love into algorithms and text messages, human beings were already trying to answer the same question. How do you know someone truly loves you? And strangely enough, many ancient cultures arrived at similar answers. First, they remain present during hardship. In easier seasons, affection is common. Presence is cheap when love is pleasant. But hardship has always acted like fire. It reveals what was imitation and what was devotion. In older African oral traditions, young people are warned by elders not to judge loyalty during celebration. Because drums attract crowds easily, silence does not. Perhaps that is why difficult seasons change relationships so quickly. Hardship removes convenience from love, and whatever remains afterward tends to be real. Anyone can hold your hand while the sun is shining. In ancient times, people paid attention to who remained when the rain arrived. They protect your name. Long before modern ideas about relationships, many cultures treated reputation as an extension of the soul itself. To protect someone's name was to protect part of their dignity. In Arab traditions, poets often described love not through grand speeches, but through loyalty in absence. Because words spoken behind someone's back were believed to reveal the truest form of intention. A person who loves you does not join every room speaking against you just to belong there. Because affection that disappears in public pressure was usually attachment more than love. They notice small changes. Love has always been connected to attention, deep attention. Ancient Japanese writings often associated care with observation rather than performance. Noticing tired eyes, changed routines, quieter laughter, small sadness hidden beneath normal behavior. Because people rarely study what they do not value. Anyone can notice beauty, but it takes affection to notice exhaustion. They sacrifice comfort willingly. For centuries, love was rarely described as endless pleasure. More often, it was described as willing sacrifice. Across many spiritual and cultural traditions, devotion was measured by what a person was willing to endure for another human being. Lordship, distance, patience, hunger, waiting, not because suffering itself is love, but because genuine love eventually interrupts selfishness. A person deeply attached only asks, "How does this affect me?" A person who truly loves eventually asks, "How does this affect us?" They speak about you with respect. In many older societies, speech carried moral weight. Words were not treated casually. They were treated as reflections of character. Among several East African traditions, they warn that the tongue can either shelter a person or expose them. And love was often recognized through restraint, through gentleness, through refusing humiliation, even during anger. Because attraction speaks carelessly, respect does not. They bring you peace instead of constant confusion. Ancient people understood something modern relationships often romanticize incorrectly. Chaos and love are not the same thing. Passion can be chaotic, desire can be unstable, but deep love usually brings a strange sense of steadiness. In Mediterranean and biblical traditions, peace is often treated as evidence of trust and sincerity, not endless emotion turbulence. Because when someone genuinely values your heart, they become careful with it. Not perfect, careful. They remember what matters to you. Memory has always been tied to affection. People remember what carries emotional weight. That is why all the love poetry from Persia, parts of Africa, and Asia often focused on tiny, remembered details. Favorite flowers, familiar paths, specific phrases, ordinary moments. Because love pays attention to what others overlook. Real affection rarely reveals itself only through grand gestures. Sometimes it reveals itself through remembrance. They do not compete with your growth. One of the oldest signs of insecure attachment has always been resentment toward another person's growth. Ancient teachers, philosophers, elders, in many cultures warn against relationships built on possession instead of partnership. Because love does not fear seeing someone become fuller. Control does. A person who loves you deeply may fear losing you sometimes. Human beings are imperfect, but somewhere beneath that fear, they still want to see you become more. Love does not shrink the soul, it makes room for it. The strangest thing about love is that humanity has spent thousands of years describing it, yet the signs remain surprisingly consistent. Presence during hardship, gentleness with vulnerability, loyalty in absence, peace instead of performance, careful attention, respect. Civilizations change, languages evolve, but the human heart keeps recognizing the same things. And maybe the reason is real love has never been proven, mainly through words, but through repeated care, observed over time.